So hello and welcome back to another edition of Scale Model Jam. And on the bench today we have the HobbyZone Big Showcase module, which is basically this thing just here. I'm going to move that so you can see it a bit more. One of these. There we go. So what we're going to do with it today, we are going to build it, because I need another couple of these. I probably need another 50 of these, to be honest, to display all the kits. But we're going to build this today. It's nice. It's about 15-20 degrees in the man cave here today. Sunny outside, and I've got some wood glue just here. And the box is just, as you see it, literally that. There's nothing else written on it. So let's open this up and see what we've got inside. As always, well packaged. Always lots of bubble wrap in these kits. So I'm going to unpack everything now and get it onto here so we can see what there is. And there we have it, quite basic. So you've got the middle shelf bit, which is the bit that goes halfway across the module, just like that. I'm not sure why they cut this out. Maybe that's if you've got things you display in front, because you just leave it out. But I actually find that a bit of a pain, because when you've got a car on it, it falls through the other side. So on the one I've got here, I've got another bit of MDF, a very thin piece, 2-3mm. And that's gone straight across it flat like that, and then we therefore no longer have any issues with cars falling through. These are the shelf brackets, and they go into the sides. If I just lift this up, they go into the sides just there like that, one on each, and then the shelf will sit on top. Of course, you've got oodles of magnets, and this will allow you to connect it to the rest of your HobbyZone modules here, and they will all connect together. Obviously, it's important to get the polarity right on these, because if you get it wrong, you have to poke it out and try and put it back in again. Because obviously, when you put the two modules together, they will push themselves apart. Laws of attraction. So we've got the top and the bottom. Top on one side and the bottom on one side. We have the back. We have the glass, and that's pretty much all you need. I've got some wood glue, as I mentioned. I've got some masking tape to hold it together. Here we go. We're going to start building. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to disconnect all these parts like that, tidy up the edges. With that, I'm going to use a thicker knife just to cut these bits out. I don't like to twist these parts out, because if you knacker them up, then you've got to try and work around it when you're putting it all together. So there we go, put them through like that. That's now rubbish. There we go. So there we go. Again, these have to be ultra flat, because obviously the edges will stick together and you don't want any of these bumps getting in the way. Very quick to do. It's just MDF, so very easy to cut down to where you need it. Okay, that's that bit. Okay, so we've got one side, got the bottom, the other side, and then you have the top as well. It literally is as simple as that. So I'm just going to make sure we know which way those are going. That's fine. So the first thing I want to do is I want to put the magnets in. So I'm going to have to make sure that these are the right polarities, top, bottom, left, right, that sort of thing. So we'll start with this side, and I'm going to just measure it up against an existing unit, which is just over here. So I'm just going to test these magnets out. They're the wrong way. There we go, that's what we want. So there we go. So I've just marked on there which way they're meant to go, and so I know that when I do that, these can go straight in here. Push them in. They don't have to be exactly in, because we'll knock them in a little bit. As long as they're all going the right way, that is all that matters. So what I'm also going to do is I'm just going to put a little 0, a little O on that to show it's the outside of the box. And the same for this one. There we go. Outside. These go in this way. So I am going to hammer these in a second. So I'm just putting them in place so we know exactly which way they're meant to be going in. There we go. So I've got my rubber mallet here. Just going to knock this in. Whoops. So I ended up taking these outside to get them done, because everything was falling apart in here. So I've marked these two, the T&P, top and bottom. So we know that when I test them on the tops here of my current units, I know which polarities they're meant to be. And those are the magnets. There we go. that way. Right, now I'll take these in and hammer them outside, and we're ready for the next stage. Right, they are done. Everything is done. So all the magnets where they should be, bottom, top, outside, drop down. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to join these up like this, just to test fitting, and we're going to get some glue on these and some tape around it to keep it in place. Yeah, that definitely works. So make sure you have some tissue handy. This is why we need the tape on them, ladies and gentlemen. Yep. Use plenty of glue because you can never have too much when it comes to wood. There we go. And that is pretty much it. So at this point, because it's all now attached, I'm going to just masking these in so they stay where they need to be. And then to get the actual shape properly, we're going to mount it onto that. Okay, so just lift it up. There we go, so that's how it's going to sit, so we can flip that over. Make sure that's okay there. And more masking tape. We are on our way there, it's almost done. And now it's time for these. And these just literally slot into these holes in the edges. You don't even need to glue them, they just go straight in. I will however tidy that edge up. Okay. There we go. Use the middle, so there we go. And that, voila. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's obviously the basic setup, and then obviously you've got glass in here which then slides in. That's a bit flexible so that it can be bent in like that and it's ready to go. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said on the other one here, not sure you can see on here, I'll move the camera just slightly, there we go. There's actually, you've got this bit here which is the bottom shelf, and there's another slightly thicker bit on, well, slightly thinner bit there on top which covers the whole thing. That's how I've managed to get the car in without it falling off. So I'm going to have to do that again with this, but obviously we want to test that the magnet's all in the right place. So what we'll do is we grab the next module, which is just here, and it's literally just a case of, there we go. Obviously the magnets are fairly strong, so we do that. I mean, if we test it the other way, let's see what happens when you get it the wrong way around. Try and line it up. The polarities don't match. It does seem like I'm knocking it across the table there, but if I try and get them end on, it just moves slightly out of the way. So that's definitely the right way around. So I'm going to put you back up there. So we're going to test the top ones next. Perfect. There we go. You're going to come up and you're going to go back to where you started. Just like that. There we go. So now it's just a case of peeling off the protective film off the window. Notice there's a Hobby Design cutout in the top there, so you know it has to go that way and not that way because it'll be backwards. There we go. clear that. Let's clear that piece of plastic there. And there we are. And that's it. Yeah, and it opens just like that. Once the glue has set, I will remove all the tape, and that will be ready to go there. And I'll have to mess around with the location of all the other bits as my HobbyZone module desk setup gets bigger. These are great. I mean, these are fantastic. I found that not a lot of dust, even though obviously it's not airtight, not a lot of dust gets in, because I've never had to clean the cars in that one. So obviously if we just do that, just do that. So what I've got here, I've got my gun buster. I think it's a 1/250 scale, I think it is. Unpainted, that's coming soon. I'm going to show them in it just to show you. There you go. There he is. Nice. Not going to collect any dust. Could have LED lights around it and everything. But yeah, no, really happy. These are great units. Really, really are great. If you've got the HobbyZone set up, I suggest getting a few of these. I'm going to have a ton of these soon. So I hope you enjoyed this build / review. I'll show you the finished project once it's done. Hopefully that'll be on the next bit.
A few moments later.
So what I'm doing now is I'm now taking off the masking tape. It's been on there for about 20 minutes. That's more than enough for the glue to start to set. It won't be fully strong for at least 24 hours. It's nice and warm in the man cave, so it shouldn't take too long. What I tend to do at this point is, you see that obviously not everything is a perfect fit. So what I tend to do at this point is, once it's completely dry, I get the sander out and I sand all these kind of extruding bits so that everything is smooth. And then when it gets added to the rest of the module, it slides in perfectly as it should, being all the right dimensions and stuff. I am thinking actually of painting my HobbyZone unit, so why didn't you leave me a comment and tell me what colour you think I should do it. And then you have it, both the units in their proper place, exactly how it should look. It needs to be sanded, it needs to be finished, but there it is. But yeah, really happy with it. I really love the display units. They're fantastic, so I'm hoping to get some more of them. I definitely recommend them. So if you get a chance to start your HobbyZone collection, do it. Good night, guys.